Welcome to the L Spot Show Season 3.
Today is a special day, Michael.
What day is it?
Today is our anniversary!
Woo!
We are celebrating the 7th year anniversary of the L Spot.
That's right, 7 years of giving you excellent ways to network and be recognized. Thank you so much for joining us today. To help us celebrate, please make sure that you head over to the lspot.com so that you can donate to our cause, any denomination of 7. We'll start with 7,000, but we'll also take 700 and I guess 70 if you have to, but 70 times 7.
Absolutely.
So today we've got something special for you guys. We're going to be speaking about technology and how we as minorities can operate and function in the tech world. We have a special guest. Web developer Nick Scott is going to be speaking to us about web bots and how he himself has made those same strides.
He's going to give us the keys and tools on how he self-taught himself on how to make the tech coin. Stay tuned for all that and more on this episode of the L Spot Show. Technology is an ever-growing field, as we all may know. Now more than ever, it is time for every type of person to get involved. Although people of color are making strides in this industry, there is a strong need for more of us to be in these fields.
Our guest uses technology to help visionary entrepreneurs disrupt their industry with innovative products and platforms. Here to discuss his path in a career of tech is Nick Scott.
Yes, Nick Scott.
How you doing, Nick?
What's up, guys?
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So tell us a little bit about what you specifically do.
All right. Well, it's quite a bit, just because it's been a journey this year in tech. Currently I am, a product designer and strategist for, established entrepreneurs in their industry who are looking, they developed some authority, and now they're looking to kind of disrupt that industry, and they need something innovative. They need a competitive advantage. They might be non-technical, and we come in and make it better. But getting there this past year, I had to teach myself coding, a lot of different aspects of technology. I had to really see where the future was going with AI and everything to get there. So it's been a journey.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's go to the product.
Sure.
So what products are these companies selling? What is the product?
For instance, one of them is a global investment deal club. So it's like a social club in New York for investors and startups. So startups get to go there and pitch, and they have access to all these investors. Investors get to go there, see these startups, and they have opportunities to invest. And it's a very kind of like high caliber, sophisticated experience. For instance, we are helping them build a social networking application to kind of further the connections that are happening, and help people who attend, really strengthen the relationships that they're making. We've got, people ranging from, guys in Wall Street who are looking to potentially automate, trading.
Using like an app.
Yes.
Which you would develop.
Yes.
Or help to develop.
Yes.
And so when you say coding, you mean like actually writing the code for the app.
Yep.
So what's the difference between writing code for an app and web development?
Just kind of the languages that are involved. With a website, typically it's a bit more static, and you're just kind of developing this front end. But with like software and applications, there's a lot of back-end stuff involved as far as having a database, having context of who your users are, being able to connect to other integrations and systems that power the platform. For instance, think about an app you downloaded where maybe you could have logged in with like Facebook or Google, so things like that.
So it's been a very long time since I even attempted to code, way back when you had to move the little turtle around. You remember that in elementary school? Oh, you probably don't.
I don't. I thought you were going to say like HTML on MySpace.
No.
That's where everybody tells me they learned to code was MySpace.
In the 90s, there were
Okay.
computers.
I got
you
that.
used to put in inputs for this little turtle thing, and it would move around on the screen, and that was actually like coding. Don't ask me what it was called. We'll call it Turtle.
Okay.
Oh
So
my gosh.
Cool.
way back then, it was very simple. But it seems like now it's something that works on a framework of other things that have already been built. Yes, true.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about way back in the day to what you're referring to, I mean, I just kind of made all of us feel old real quick.
You did.
But I'm just saying at the beginning, not even at the beginning of computers, but back in the 90s, right? Like people are still using what we call like a command line interface, which is kind of that intimidating black screen where you just type in like file directories and commands and things like that, but you don't really get that visual graphic interface. And right now, there's so many different frameworks. There's so many different ways people can create software, apps, websites, or anything like that with limited coding knowledge. We've got the kind of what you see is what you get editors, drag and drop type things, Squarespace, WordPress, and you're starting to see some of that for actual web applications as well. So the future is kind of no code, which is funny because there's a big variety of coding frameworks. But even for developers, if you can simplify the process and templatize, and you don't have to spend that much time coding, it's kind of better for everyone.
Templatize.
So, all those words that you just threw out there, those
Yeah.
little $500 words but you need to, for someone who's like me, I know that coding is a big deal. There are camps, there are different schools that you can go to. People are really promoting, girls in coding,
Yeah.
kids in coding and things like that. How did you sit down long enough to teach yourself to code?
Well,
it seems like a difficult
yeah,
language.
Okay, yeah, I mean, well, there's different types of languages, and that's where the growth kind of happened. So, when I think back to when I was a kid, I used to go into work with my mom. She worked at Fidelity Investments, and being somewhere there in the early 2000s and the big whole .com thing, they've got big, gigantic computer labs. So when I was a kid, I taught myself HTML there, how to make a basic website. And, then I went into high school and thought it was lame. So I left all of that stuff behind. And now, I'd say 26 last year, I decided that, this was something I want to learn. So I actually started with something that actually didn't have to do with coding at all, which is Facebook Messenger bots. Mm-hmm. And it was a cool way to kind of start dipping my toes into tech without having to worry about coding. And what I would do is I would learn how to make them and connect them to businesses' Facebook pages and help them automate customer service and make more interactive marketing experiences. And that's when I came into my kind of profitable skill, because I realized businesses will pay, anywhere from $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 for things like that. And it really didn't take me long to build at all. And after that, I learned that you can do more advanced things with them to make them a little bit more powerful. You think about businesses, they want something that'll connect to their existing systems and help them automate tasks. So I had to learn how to connect something like that to everything else technical that a business may be using. And that's when I was like, oh, maybe I should learn how to code and get better at this. So I taught myself. I had some mentors who I didn't, invest in a course or like a camp. I just had some guys who would literally sit and screen share with me on a computer for 2 hours, and we just interactively code together.
So break it down. What is a bot? Because I've heard so many negative things about it, but
Oh,
you
man.
made it seem like it's like,
Yeah, I mean, so they're relatively new, and they some people don't do them the right way. So I mean, I myself have had bad experiences or annoying experiences with bots, but basically they're just a way to automate conversation. So anytime you go to a website and you're not talking to a live person, but you get this automated response in that chat window, that's a bot. When you click on message on somebody's Facebook page and you get an instantaneous message, that's a bot. And you can program them as complex as you want them to be. You can literally put entire application forms in those things.
And the advantage of having a bot for a business is just to streamline like the customer service aspect of the business.
Yeah.
So everyone is probably going to have, if they don't already, will have bots.
Most businesses, I think, should have some form of, automating conversations and customer support. Yes.
So is it pretty much the same thing as when you jump on the phone and you're desperately trying to speak to a real person, but you're getting like the lady and you're like 0, 1,
Yes.
whatever, that's a bot.
Yes.
Got it.
Really?
Aha!
So the person who's
Crack
just
the
like,
code.
if you do 1,
Yes.
or I can help you right now. Just give me your card or give me your phone. That's a bot?
Yeah.
You've been using bots this whole time. You know it.
Now I can quit whatever I'm doing. I am experienced.
So people may not know, and I definitely want to touch on this, but you are quite a talented person.
Yes.
With a diverse pool of things that you are really good at.
Right.
And I heard you mention profitable skill, and
Yes.
you and I have had conversations about this before. Would you just touch on that a little bit as far as how it can help people in our community when it comes to really trying to break out of your education, whether it be high school or
Right.
college, post that, and trying to take yourself to the next level?
Yeah, so I mean, for anybody who wants to know, I didn't even finish college. I didn't want to.
I do want to, but I have not.
No, I love education.
But
And
not in a classroom form.
well, in some cases, I mean, I attended college for maybe a couple semesters without the intention of getting a degree. So I literally just went to kind of sit in on psychology and communications classes because even though I didn't know what I wanted to do at that point, I knew something like those would kind of help me in any field that I was in. I mean, one of the best pieces of advice I got from my brother is college is what you make out of it. You know what I mean? Whether you're going to a tech school or Harvard, it really is what you make out of it and what you're going to do with it. And also, you got to remember, I graduated 2009. So at the time, it felt a little bit more risky to not do that because there wasn't this big plethora of online information, at the click of a finger like there is now. But these days especially, I mean, most of how I learn and a lot of very high-value people in my network, how they learn is literally self-taught, on the computer, grabbing a quick course on like Udemy or something like that. And that's most of the most important things that I have learned that have really helped me level up and get that profitable skill have all been things that I learned online.
Awesome.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. So you're telling everyone don't go to college, Nick?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm just saying don't be afraid to kind of get your education wherever you can.
Absolutely.
I mean, there's definitely some I think people who need to go to college. I would hope that my doctor, went to college.
Oh, they're just gonna do it online, Nick. That's what they're gonna do.
But I'd say with like business and tech, especially things that move very fast, tech is evolving. I almost wouldn't want to go to college for something like tech because I'd feel like as soon as I got in the class and started, the curriculum would already be outdated. So.
Well, thank you so much. Nick, tell everyone where we can find you. Can we slide in your DMs if we have any questions?
Yeah, just gotta look me up on Facebook, Nikki Scott, or look for me on Instagram, and just slide in those DMs. I do have a website. It's aoslabs.live, and that's it. Shoot me a message.
All right. Awesome. You heard Nick. Don't go to college.
Thanks so much for joining us, Nick.
Thanks.
Next up, we've got some very interesting vegan pop stuff going on with Angela Yvonne and our special guest, Vibe Queen.
Yes.
We'll see you soon.
I'm going to be your connect to all the hottest and unique vegan spots here in New York City. Now, some people might feel like being vegan is hard, but it's not if you know where to go. And of course, I'm not going to do this journey alone. Look who I have with me. Yes! Hey guys! Miss Hustle in Brooklyn, Miss Gooding. Hi, how are you?
I'm excited to go on this like journey with you.
Yes, I'm excited for you because, you know, it's not for the weary.
Look,
it is not for the weary.
All I know is I couldn't care at this point if it's vegan, American. You said you wanted to take me to eat, and I was like, okay.
I'm always hungry. But we know you on Hustle in Brooklyn. Mm-hmm. We know that you have mad connects, the Erica Menas, the Safaris, the A Boogies, the list goes on and on. Mm-hmm. But how you eating?
Honestly, when you contacted me about grabbing something to eat, the first thing I thought was, how am I eating today? So I'm not gonna lie, like I probably have very, very poor eating habits. Uh-huh. Like I fit eating habits around my work. So as I like complete tasks, that's when I decide when to eat.
So you came from a Caribbean background. Your parents are both Grenada, and there's just fruits and everything in abundance, but you just didn't.
See, well, growing up, like my parents were like very big on like gardening, mm-hmm. Organic foods. Just like even when it came to seafood, explaining to me the difference between farm raised and wild caught. So like I grew up with a very like diverse palate. Like mm-hmm. everything was like homegrown. My parents to this day grow tomatoes, mint, cucumbers, attempt at watermelon at their home. But as I got older and moved out of the house, like, you know, there's no garden out here in Brooklyn.
There are some co-ops. There are some co-ops.
Well, not where I live. I can't afford those. I can't afford those. I can afford the supermarket. You know, sometimes I just don't get around to cooking. Like, sometimes my vegetables run out in the fridge because I don't know. Like, I have a very small amount of ways of knowing how to prepare them.
Right.
So I guess, like, with you bringing me here, I'm like, maybe I could learn some new ways to, like, cook my veggies.
Absolutely. So you mostly eat fish? Or you red meat, or what is your...
I eat everything.
You eat everything. So have you ever thought about being a vegan?
No.
Well, I'm going to change your mind today, but we're going to get a little bit into exactly what you do. You were known as being, you know, on Hustle in Brooklyn, you were known for being the pot stirrer, always in something. No. But that can't be possibly your real personality because I've met you and I already feel connected. So I'm just like,
you should.
I'm like, what were they doing with the editing? Like, what's going on?
You know what? Sometimes I'm the person, I'm not the pot stirrer, I am the pot. Oh. So sometimes when people want to unload what they're going through, you put things in the pot and you go and they mix it up. I'm just here holding the things together, you know? I'm just trying to make it all work.
But on Hustle in Brooklyn, you were very adamant in showing that you are the person to know. You are the connect. You have this company called Code. Tell us a little bit about Code and tell us, you know, how did you get into this line of work? Because it's not easy.
So one, Code is a management, marketing, and PR agency, mm-hmm. and we recently expanded into A&R work. But the crazy thing is, when I started Code 5 years ago, I thought that we were going to be like the next big like event marketing, like basically like place to go when you want to throw a great event or a great party. Okay. So we started our company, producing an event for Blue Magazine. And we were honoring Nick Cannon. And that event itself did over 100 million impressions in the press. And that's essentially how we became a PR agency. We honestly didn't even do the craziest press campaign. We didn't realize how strong of relationships we had within the media. Mm. And that's basically what catapulted our business. We started off with Erica Mena. She's a personal friend of mine. I've known Erica for over a decade now. Right. And at the time, she just left Rich, and she was like, look, I'm ready for PR. I see what you're doing. Like, let's do it together. And honestly, everything took off from there. Like, she was able, like, utilizing Erica, I was able to show some of, like, my skills. Okay. I was able to build relationships. And with our friendship, she put me in position to meet other people. Like, I met A Boogie's management through her. Oh. And she introduced them to me and told them that they should hire me. So it's like, you know, I met Safari through her after I had gotten her the gig for Scared Famous. Okay. I had first, like, pictured as Scared Famous, and she went on the show, and after doing the show, she was like, "Yo, I met this guy Safari. He's amazing."
Yes.
Like, and she told him, "You should meet my publicist. She's amazing." And like,
And now they're getting married.
exactly.
So what do you get for that?
I don't know. Maybe I'll be like the godmother of the child. That's,
Oh my God, that kid is
not-
going to be so beautiful.
I think that when they do have kids, it's gonna be the most amazing little baby.
I think, and a lot of people don't think that that is real, but I can see that it's super real. Like, he's in love with her.
Safari's been in love with her forever. Like, to the point that I used to think sometimes that he was calling to FaceTime me to check up on me. And then 5 minutes into the conversation, he'd be like, "Yo, so how's your friend?" Like, "Oh, what's your girl looking doing?" I see her on Instagram.
Doing
or,
the most.
Or your friend must be back with her man again. She blocked me.
Oh, poor thing.
But look, what is meant to be will be.
Absolutely. The universe always gets you all the way together, and that's why the universe got you here.
Exactly.
Because you are going to taste some of this good vegan food. You're Caribbean, so we got some
You got
chicken
some
for
spice?
you. Yes.
Because as long as there's spice,
We got
everything else
spice
is.
for you. We got vegetables for you.
They got the hot pepper sauce in here.
Just hold on.
Okay.
So you guys stay tuned, because we are going to get her to come on over to the green side.
Look.
Okay, so we are here, and I am going to be her first vegan eat. We have jerk chicken here. We have a stir it up, which is lots of vegetables and amazing sauce. So I'm gonna let you go ahead and eat first. And while you're eating, I'm gonna ask you how you feel about it, how it
I am
tastes.
so excited. You're like
I'm excited
popping
for
my
you.
vegan cherry.
Yes, on vegan pie.
I didn't even ask her if she has any type of protection, anything.
You just have
I
to
don't know if
jump.
she got good health benefits.
I
if
have
this goes
great health
left.
benefits. Your skin is going to be glowing. You're going to sleep
Wait,
good.
you know what? Let me. I want to like
Get
make
to
a
it.
little plate. Like,
Go
I'm gonna
ahead.
create my base right now because I'm like one of those platers. I gotta make my plate.
You're
look
really
pretty
going to
too.
enjoy this, because a lot of people feel that, you know, being a vegan, there's so many that all we're doing is eating fruits and salads.
Yeah.
But no,
Isn't it?
no.
Girl,
No,
that's
it's
all
everything.
that I see.
No, it's everything. Look at this. Does this look like a fruit and salad?
Not at all.
And you being Caribbean with all the spices, and that's really what the base is for veganism is learning how to manipulate the spices in order to, you know, cure that comfort food feeling that you have, or maybe just, you know, your palate is salty or maybe sweet or things of that nature. But you know, once you get a taste of this, you might. I feel like you're going to change your mind. At least come across the
I'm gonna
street
try
at least
a little
once in a
bit
while.
of everything.
Okay,
So let me try the spice first.
that's your
Sure.
jerk chicken. Yes. What does it remind you of?
Honestly, it still tastes like jerk chicken, but honestly, it tastes like this probably sounds a little cliche, but like a healthier version. Like, what is this? Like zucchini or cucumber?
This is zucchini.
Yeah, like so that crunch.
Yeah.
Like I like it. I like the like texture it gives the food.
I'm glad. I got one.
Okay. Okay, now what is this?
Now this is the stir it up, and it's full of vegetables.
Because honestly, this is the most vegetables I've had in one sitting at one time.
See, but if you become a vegan, then
Like I usually am very much like lettuce, cucumbers, tomatoes. That's it.
right. So
Broccoli.
I know you've heard about veganism and things of that nature. What is your hesitancy? Because I mean, do you feel like you would be without, but after tasting this, it's clear that you wouldn't be?
I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I've wanted to incorporate more plant-based meals into my diet, just because I feel like there's no better energy than natural energy.
Absolutely.
Especially to be like on the go all the time. Like when I eat poorly, like it shows. Like and I feel it. My only hesitancy is like making the commitment. Like
Right.
making sure, like, okay, if I go to the supermarket and get the groceries, like,
Are you gonna cook?
let me get up and do it. Like, there's sometimes where I'm in the house, I'm just like, I'm just too tired, I don't want to do it. So for me, it's more so making the commitment and like understanding, like, this is what I need for my body. Now, I told you on my way here. I mean, before I got here, I ripped 2 pairs of pants. So maybe I'm like a vegan.
You know what? You know what? You might. Beyonce says you need to get information for it.
First off, I already told Beyonce and Jay-Z that I was falling in line with their challenge, and I ain't started yet. You didn't go on their little website.
You did start. You're renewed daily. This is your first day.
Yeah, this is my first day. Meal. I told you I was going to do 2 plant-based meals, and this is one.
And it's not hard. It really isn't. And it's more than fruits and salads. Like, you can just go to your little bodega, chickpeas, black beans, toss that on up, get you some soy sauce, put it over rice, and there you go.
So the rice, I gotta eat a lot of rice with it.
You don't have to eat a lot of rice, because don't get it twisted. Even though being a vegan is healthy for you, we do have some chunky vegans. We do, and because I will be quick to get on some bread. I'll be quick starch and carbs, but I've started being more mindful for the plant-based and sort of staying away from the meat alternatives, except for I'll do a meat alternative like maybe once a week or things of that nature, because you can easily fill up on this stuff and you think you're doing it, but anything in too much consumption is bad for you. Mm-hmm. So I mean,
you speaking for the both of us. I mean, I can consume all of this.
Girl, wait till the camera get off.
Well, I can consume all of this if it's too much for you.
And what I really enjoy about veganism is because, you know, it motivates you to want to cook.
It does?
It does. It motivates you to want to cook.
Well,
so
that's something
you said you were in.
You learn something new every day.
Yes, you said you were in the running for a husband and a baby. If you know how to cook.
Oh no, I know how to cook.
I mean, if you can cook.
This.
Yeah, you can cook this. You can cook all kinds of different things, because it has you using different ingredients that you wouldn't normally use.
You know what's funny? I just realized 2 of the guys that I'm dating are vegan.
Look at you. See?
They are.
See how the universe came around?
I'm gonna learn how to cook for y'all.
You should. Get that jackfruit.
I'm gonna get you all that jackfruit and come through with that plant-based. Okay.
And it's surprising because a lot of people don't know how, but you know, once you get a taste of this and once you find out the different spots, because there's a vegan alternative for every food that you eat. Every food that you eat. So you're not really missing out on anything.
That's good. I'm about to take Vegan Bay here.
Vegan Bay. Hashtag.
Vegan Bay.
You're not supposed to say there's 2.
It's okay. No, we're in honesty. This is dating in 2019. They know about each other.
Okay. So if you could give this a rating, since you are, you know, an avid carnivore, if you could give this a rating as far as flavor, as far as food, as far as would you, you know, incorporate plant-based in your life at least once a week, what is your rating?
I would definitely give this a 10 out of 10.
Yes.
Because I honestly don't know if I'm even gonna share with you. To be honest, we might have to get this chef to get you your own order. Where's the waitress in here?
I am the waitress. I'll clear this for you. Well, I just want to say thank you so much. This was so much fun, and I always enjoy having someone with me when I'm doing the vegan journey. Let everyone know where they can find you on social media.
Well, you can find me on every social media platform at Miss Gooding. That's MSGOODING. You can also follow my company, The Code of NYC, which is just at The Code of NYC.
Absolutely.
And our website, thecodeofnyc.com.
And you know you will definitely see her in the streets, and you will probably
say what up, say hi. I speak, I don't bite, don't get scared.
And are we getting another season of Hustle in Brooklyn?
Look, you have to stay tuned.
Well, as you see, it's not that bad. All you have to do is come on over to the green side, and you never know, you just might like it over here. I'm Angela Bond, and this is Vegan Pop, and I'll see you later.
The Indie NYC Show is a talk show passionate about creating more visibility for independent artists in film and digital media. One way you can support indie right now is by going over to YouTube and typing in that search, Bum Rush the Series. Let me know what you think.
Look, I ain't planning on making nothing messy today.
All right,
but if you hit me one more time,
it.
bitch, I promise you sanitation gonna have something to clean up. Try me.
Yo, get me out of here, man.
the wrath in our path, little dumb fuck. I swear we knocking everything down when we bomb rush. Coming for it all, kicking in the door, doing whatever to get on the ball. Making sweet man.
Whoa. When it comes to me and mine, just mind your business. Make me mind my business.
You came to me. You told me that you was taking over Chappelle's territory.
Freddie, looks like you've seen a ghost.
Fuck is that?
No.
Shut up. If you take one more step, man, that's gonna be the last thing she sees.
Last thing you'll see is your light flashing before your eyes. Think I'm bullshit.
The city is on high alert.
As far as I'm concerned, any shooting's a good shooting when it's against them.
You better. I got a lot riding on this. Customs been all over the docks. That's why we had to switch over to the cargo trains.
3 million? Man, that's a come up like a motherfucker.
Abdul.
J-Rock, it's a pleasure.
Very nice. Very nice.
Oh! I'm telling you, there is power in the name of Jesus.
Listen, you go find that fucking guy. And if he ain't got the money, you're gonna end it for me. You're gonna put him in the ground.
Come on, man!
Hey, what you talking about?
Oh, hold up, bro. What you want me to do? Ain't nothing else but to collect, get my money in my coat for that nigga fucking head. Say no more. I mean, damn, you nearly put the guys. I don't give a fuck about them. Listen, what side you on? Didn't these assholes try to attempt to sell you 2 ounces of cocaine? Did they try to do that to you? Shut the fuck up!
Oh, wait, hell, man, some bitches stick me up.
You be a bitch, slap a bitch.
You right. You got it.
Y'all got something y'all need to tell me? What's up, y'all? Where my money at?
Kicking in the door, doing whatever to get on the board, making everybody hit the floor, put their hands up on the wall. I pray that you getting ready for the war, nigga.
Let me guess, you want to get your R. Kelly on. You want to pee on somebody, don't you?
Ew, this nigga is nasty.
Want more independent artists to support? We know plenty. Follow us at the Indie NYC Show on Instagram and we will put you on.
And welcome back. And we are here with someone who doesn't really need an introduction because she creates a vibe. Welcome, Vibe Queen. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm so glad that you're here.
Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. We're happy to have you. So tell us a little bit about this name, your moniker, Vibe Queen. Where did this come from?
So Vibe Queen was actually bestowed upon me. I didn't pick it. My mentor and coach who I hired to help me with my branding actually said it fits perfectly. I run a music networking event called Vibe Talk Music. So he said, who else best to host it than the Vibe Queen? So it kind of stuck.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Vibe Talk Music. So I hear Vibe Talk Music. I've heard terms safe space in association with it. What does that exactly mean? Safe space. What do you think about that?
Absolutely. So Vibe Talk Music came about because I've been in the industry about 15 years on and off. And before I started Vibe Talk Music, I was actually with a distribution label, and I was married to someone in the industry. So all of the business, stuff I really didn't need to know. I could just be an artist, and I kind of took that for granted, I'm not going to lie. So I've got to work with some really great artists, been in nice studios, but once, that no longer was available for me, I found myself with nothing. So I took a break from music. music to kind of figure out what it is I wanted to do. And I realized that music really was my calling, but I had no producers, no studio, nobody that I could kind of call on. And when I went to a lot of events, it was open mics and things like that, but nobody really wanted to connect or talk. It was more just hype and social media and, you know, things like that. So I figured, you know, if it's not out there, why not create it? And that's what I did.
That's fantastic.
So what can someone expect with coming to one of your events?
Absolutely. So we do a unique thing. So during the first 2 hours of the event, which is networking, we actually play independent artist music. So instead of hearing, you know, Cardi B and all of that, which no offense to her, you actually get to hear independent artist music that otherwise may not have had a platform to share that. Even to get on a playlist can take a while and can cost money and resources. So for only $5 at Vibe Talk, you can get your song played for the entire audience. And we also feature the artist's IG and picture on the projector so people can actually follow them. And then our host, Joe Hill, he's a comedian. He kind of, you know, shoots the shit. I don't know if I can curse on here. You can bleep it out. With the artist and just kind of gets the feedback of the crowd. And it's always a really good vibe, and it's positive, it's upbeat, and it's a good way for artists that are working on material to also kind of tweak it if they realize maybe the crowd didn't really get hype, you know, or into it. So that makes it different. Besides that, we also feature a guest speaker. We talk about different topics within the music industry, so how to get yourself booked, how to manage your finances, PR, all those topics that as artists you need to know if you don't have major label support. And then lastly, we feature a headliner and some openers as well. So it's kind of like an artist showcase. So we try to tap into all facets.
It sounds like an all-in-one.
Being an artist,
yes. Just for $5, that's all you need.
Well, $5 is a song submission. Ticket to the event is $15. But yeah, everything is
$20
is included, and we have a videographer there, photographer there, so tons of content, which I know is important in this day and age.
That's amazing.
So how important was that? Because of everyone in our I'm finding out that people are wary of the networking events because you pay this money to go, but from listening to you, it seems like it's a great investment because you're put in front of these people who are actually open to hear your song, open to critique. How important was that for you to get that together and putting your name on this, something that can help creatives out?
Absolutely. So for me, the way I was looking at it is that I needed to stand out. Like I said, there are a lot of just networking events and there are a lot of just open mics, and then there's jam sessions, but there's really, at least to my knowledge, no place where you kind of have a little bit of education. You can still have a drink, you know, you have some vendors that have cool stuff, you get to hear new music, you actually get to talk to the artist whose song just played, which is awesome. So if you're looking for a backup singer, or if you're looking for a rapper to feature, if you're looking for a producer or a DJ, all of those people are there. So that's the whole point. It's a safe space, to kind of answer your question, because it's all positive and we're all here to, you know, do the same thing, and that's have a successful career.
Do you want to maintain that sort of accessible vibe? I'm assuming that you do, but I guess in thinking about your company and what you're doing, growing, speaking into existence company, where do you see it, I guess, in like the next 5 to 10 years?
Absolutely. I'm glad you asked that question. So we are taking it on the road. We're going to be in New Orleans in 2 weeks, which is exciting. We're going to be in Chicago in April. We're going to be in Nashville in June. So my plan ultimately is I've always wanted to travel, and I've got to travel for other jobs in the past, but it's still a job. So I've always wanted to be kind of independent and, you know, be my own boss. So that's kind of where I see Vibe Talk Music going, is being able to travel, take it on the road, help as many artists as possible. Ultimately, the 5-year goal would be to take it to Europe. That's where I'm from originally. So to take it back to where I grew up would be like awesome. And besides that, also to perform. I'm still an artist myself at heart. So performing and singing is what I love.
I am crazy impressed. That is so cool. Like, keep an eye on her. Next up to be P. Diddy. Jesus Christ. You sound like someone on Empire. Like, that is amazing.
Like, what are we doing?
Now, I heard you briefly mention you still being an artist yourself.
Yes.
How has that been as far as developing your own, nurturing your own artistic abilities while also developing this for others?
So it's been tough. I'm not going to lie to you. Something I vowed to myself for 2019 was that I was going to include everybody on my journey, including the highlights and the lowlights, I guess you could say, which is not always easy to do, especially on social media. You want to share the good parts. So I'm going to be really honest with you. It's been tough. You know, when I was in music before, I was in a group, which I'm going to say there's safety in that. You have other people to rely on and energy-wise, and now I'm a solo artist. That's a challenge for me. As a singer vocally, I've kind of limited myself. I've been very much in my comfort zone, so I know I need to push myself and develop that further. As far as my sound, I do know what my sound is. It's neo-soul R&B, very chill, very like Janae Aiko, Georgia Smith, Alicia Keys type of vibe. But right now, all of my energy is going into vibe talk music. Something I'm realizing is that you do have to, you know, put all of your energy into one thing before you can kind of do something else.
That's absolutely right.
So yeah.
Unfortunately, but yeah, very
Yeah,
true.
I'm learning that. So it's every day you learn something new.
Because once you
so.
focus on that, then you can eat off of it.
Exactly. So that's the plan. But music is definitely still on the forefront. I did finish my debut single, so that's supposed to come out in March. So I'm excited about that. Yeah.
So we are so grateful that you took time out of your day to come and see us. But
of course.
We need for you to tell our viewers where they can find you on social media, where we can hear your music, so we can get part of the vibe.
Absolutely. You can find everything on Vibe Talk Music on Instagram, Facebook, and then my personal IG is Vibe Queen Music. Very simple. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you.
in. This has been an amazing conversation.
Cool.
And cannot wait to see what happens with
Same.
Vibe Talk.
Okay, me too.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on the show once again. And stay tuned for her music. Stay tuned for everything that is on IG, social media,
everywhere.
And get into the vibe.
The Science Mind is my opportunity to start a discussion with all of you about how we as a generation of people can do more to engage with the scientific world. I've found that science is a topic that most of us move away from as we complete our degrees and move into the workforce, but it is what we depend on most daily for our health, habits, entertainment, and lifestyles in general. Today I want to bring into focus a sometimes controversial topic and offer a look at ways that we can process it more comfortably. Shopping greener. If you work, it's very likely you spend money, and most of us like to spend money at our favorite shops, restaurants, and stores. The next time you go shopping, consider the environmental impact of your chosen place and products on which you spend some coins. Some businesses operate dangerously, cutting corners when creating or obtaining the products they sell, keeping environments for employees that are less than ideal, and even going against some important ethical causes. It's a lot to consider when shopping, but it's doable. There are several different types of retailers that live by a green motto. Looking for outdoor gear, for example, check out Patagonia. They are vetted and known to donate 1% of profits to grassroots activists and utilize transparency as a marketing tool so you can assess their environmental impact of what they are selling. IKEA is another giant that is doing its best to minimize its impact on the environment. They utilize solar panels in hundreds of their stores for power and use sustainably sourced wood for their furniture. Now, if you're considering luxury, and who doesn't want to consider some luxury, you have a few options. There are lots of luxe brands that are trying to minimize their impact on the earth through using cruelty-free fabrics, no fur, vegan options, and leather and ethically sourced materials. Stella McCartney, Rag & Bone, and Victor & Rolf are just a few retailers that have tried and true methods for minimizing their impact on the environment and creatively making unique garments out of recycled materials. All it takes here is a little research on your phone, and you can find out who is helping out and who isn't before you buy. Try to find brands that use environmentally safe practices throughout their entire production process, from where they get their goods to how they are prepared and delivered to you. And if you're anything like me, you're trying to keep your finances together as well, and sometimes quality costs. It's tempting to settle and just grab something off the shelves, but it's actually a good choice to save your money and buy that one expensive quality item rather than buying a bunch of cheaper alternatives or a knockoff. If you just have to have that $2,500 bag, we all know that if you wait for your little tax return and buy it in May, instead of getting a bunch of imitations, you're going to be happier anyways. This way, you're actually lessening your own personal impact by buying a little less and not contributing to purveyors that have no incentive to utilize production methods that are less harmful to our environment. Don't be afraid to hit the thrift shop. They always have cool and unique things that are rare finds and way cheaper than brand new. Most vintage retailers obtain their products locally and align with your same community standards to operate their businesses. Another good idea here is to shop seasonally, as this will significantly lessen the impact of your purchasing power. Buying seasonally means when it's summer, buy summer clothes, and when it's winter, buy winter clothes. If all of this is simply too much for you and you can't bring yourself to really get into the groove of shopping more eco-friendly, then just bring reusable bags. Single-use plastics, papers, straws, cups, bowls, tires, whatever, it's done in 2019. We're not doing that anymore. It has way too much of a harmful impact on the environment. In 2016, we humans made around 335 million tons of plastic products, and half of that can only be used once. So by bringing your little cotton bag, or even using your backpack to carry something you buy, or at least putting all of your purchases into the same bag, we can eliminate the need for half of those plastic products. These are some ideas to get the blood flowing and juices churning around shopping greener. Everyone has an impact, and you can do so much by making just a small effort consistently to lessen that impact on the environment. I want to encourage you to have more discussions with me or the L-Spot about your opinion on this topic and what we can do to keep science and the environment on our minds.
Hi, I'm Sabine Franco, the Purpose Lawyer, and it's time for Sabine's Common Sense. Today we're going to talk about two things, income share agreement and Amazon. So let's get to it. What is an income share agreement? An income share agreement, called ISA for short, is a contract where a person or company provides something of value to another in exchange for a share of the recipient's future income up to a specific amount or a fixed length of time. Google and Ashton Kutcher have invested roughly $150 million into this new school concept, Lambda School, where the student goes to school for free, and when they graduate, they only pay if they get a good paying job. So this is where income share agreement comes into play. Basically, the students would sign an agreement when enrolling, and once they graduate, they'll have to share a percentage of their annual salary with the school. I know what you're thinking. Oh, hell to the no. But wait, there's more. The enticing part is that Lambda's program is a maximum of 30 weeks, and the school seeks only 17% of the graduate salary if they get a good job, making over $50,000. Since 2017, on average, their students earned $70,000 after graduation. Also, wait for it, payments are capped at $30,000, and what's even better is students can decide whether or not to actually pursue a job. Students are not obligated to work and only pay back loans when they are employed. The law hasn't caught up to this model. Lawmakers are still trying to figure out how to treat these contracts for tax purposes. This will definitely change the way that schools think of students as investments rather than a bag. Hopefully, this trend will cause schools to enroll the right students, help them get a job, and make sure the curriculum delivers graduates with the skills to succeed in the workplace. Now, these schools better come correct. We now have options. One day, they'll be paying us to go to college. Let's keep this same and cheap. Now let's jump to the next topic, Amazon. Amazon decided to fall back from its pursuit of New York as a second headquarters. This means a loss of 25,000 potential jobs after they announced in November of 2018 that it would open one of its new headquarters in New York City. NYC lawmakers were not trying to give Amazon $3 billion in state and city tax credits, which would have ultimately fallen on the citizens of New York City. What does this mean for New York real estate market? Queens, New York is already densely populated, with areas closest to Manhattan and Brooklyn being already highly sought after and extremely out of reach in terms of price for your average Queens resident. Amazon taking up residence in Long Island City, which is within the Queens borders, would have probably 10x that problem. Not to mention the billions of dollars in tax credits the New Yorkers would have had to foot the bill for. This, on top of Google's recent planned expansions in New York City, already underway, the addition of Amazon would have further pushed residents out of Manhattan, Brooklyn, and now Queens. It already has started, as Long Island City was seeing a surge of new buyers interested in investing in the areas surrounding Amazon's planned HQ2. condo sales had tripled, and signed real estate deals had skyrocketed. Ultimately, NYC is NYC, and real estate will be just fine. For investors, it may be harder to turn a profit as quickly as expected. That's all for today. Please don't forget to use your common sense, and if you don't have any, feel free to use mine. I'm Sabine, the Purpose Lawyer, and I'll see you next time.
Once again, we've had another fabulous show, but we want to thank all of our guests, Nick Scott, the Vibe Queen, for coming. Thank you guys for watching, and once again, we will have a lot more coming to you.
That's right. This has been our 7th anniversary episode. You can find me, Michael Mills, Instagram, MICHEAL,
And you can find me at Absolutely Angela Yvonne or entertainment_fix_, where you can get a dose of pop culture in under a minute. And of course, you need to follow all of us at the L Spot online and get those donations in, and the lucky number is 7.
That's right, 7,700.
777.
And tons of confetti!
Thank you for watching. See you later. Bye.
I dreamt about this for a while. I knew I'd be a superstar. Didn't think I was gonna make it far. Been through trials and tribulations. Almost lost faith, thought I wouldn't make it. But my God is the greatest. And now's my time to shine and be fearless. Now is my time to shine and be fearless. Now is my time to shine and be fearless. And be fearless. I'm claiming my time. And be fearless. Taking what's mine. And be fearless. Now watch me work. Light, camera, action. Now watch me work. Light, camera, action. Now watch me work. Light, camera, action. Now watch me work.
It's time to make a movie, y'all. Karen J. I'm a star, I shine way brighter. Everything lit, yo, they calling me a lighter. Came out swinging cause I'm born to be a fighter. Gifted with the words, so I'm known to be a writer. I done came a long way. Trip to the top and I came here to stay. Ain't worried about y'all cause today I'm feeling fearless. If you ain't showing love, I can care less. I can move through a crowd with a smile on. Got a bank full of money I can pile on. So it's lights, cameras, flash cause I'm here. Net worth bringing in a new year. Hands up, everybody celebrate. Only making big moves like a heavyweight. Flawless, how we rockin' the jewels. Front page of the time if you talking the news, you heard?
Now watch me work. Light, camera, action. Now watch me work. Light, camera, action. Now watch me work. Light, camera, action. Now watch me work. To shine and be fearless. Now is my time to shine and be fearless. Now is my time to shine and be fearless. And be fearless. And be fearless. And be fearless. Now watch me work. Now watch me work. Now watch me work.